A successful personal injury attorney has to, I believe, number one, be a person who is sincere. I believe that a successful personal injury attorney has to be someone who has empathy.
A plaintiff's lawyer needs to be able to put themselves in the shoes of their client, not only for their client's benefit, but so that they will be able to communicate their client's situation to a jury sometime down the road.
Regardless of how clear you can make the negligence, if you can't help the jury understand the injury that the client has suffered, then you're not going to be able to get a fair recovery for your client.
Reputation is probably the most critically important aspect of any of the tools in a lawyer's arsenal. Walking into a room amongst folks who know who you are and what you do and know that you do it well makes the difference between an average result and an excellent result.
The insurance companies know that I know how to try my case, and the insurance companies know that they're going to have to settle this case, and if they don't, then there will be a dogfight in the courtroom. It doesn't do you a lot of good with the insurance company if you don't have the reputation of someone who's able to close the deal at trial. My philosophy when it comes to practicing law is to be fair as I can to everybody. I want to be fair to my clients. I want to be fair to the other side. I don't do anything underhanded, no dirty tricks, and I'm very insistent that everybody be fair back to me.
I enjoy coming to the office because I know each day that I'm going to make a difference in someone else's life.
I do empathize with my clients. Their cause becomes my cause. And to make a recovery for them is something that gives me just a great deal of satisfaction. I've done exactly what it was that they needed to have done for them, and I've done it well, and I've made the best possible recovery for them that they can have.
When you're able to help someone and do it effectively and successfully day after day, that's something that drives a plaintiff's lawyer. Most people don't know that medical mistakes cause millions, not hundreds of thousands, millions of injuries and deaths each year. Many of them go undetected because people aren't willing or aren't able to get to the bottom of what has caused their injuries.
I think I have an advantage over some other lawyers who do medical malpractice in Phoenix, Arizona, because I started out representing doctors and hospitals. I did that for a number of years, but over the last 10 years, I've been representing primarily people who've been victims of medical negligence. So I know both sides of the story. The things that we have seen happen in medicine over the last 15 or 20 years contribute to not just doctor mistakes, but also hospital mistakes. Medicare and the insurance companies are reimbursing doctors less and less all the time, which for many doctors means they have to do more procedures, they have to see more patients. We also have a lot more doctors who are perhaps not as well trained as they were 20 years ago. And all those are the reasons why we're seeing just more and more medical negligence all the time.
Sandweg Ager handles a variety of medical malpractice cases that run the gamut from strokes, misdiagnosis of cancer, failure to treat, failure to refer a patient to a specialist. Each case, unlike an automobile crash or a dog bite, involves unique and special issues which are specific to the patient.
Doctors win 9 out of every 10 cases that are tried here in Phoenix, Arizona. You're not going to win unless you have an experienced attorney who has done a good job of putting together your case and damaging the case of the doctors.
Having access to reputable expert witnesses can make or break a medical negligence case. Sandweg Ager has the experience, connections, and resources to retain the best experts on your behalf.
Medical malpractice is probably the most complicated, most expensive litigation that any individual can be involved in our civil justice system.
Sandweg Ager does not charge its clients anything unless it gets a recovery for them. We invest significant resources in each case. We bear the risk of our outcomes not the client. And that's how it should be.
It doesn't cost any more for a victim to call somebody who's a good attorney, who's experienced and knowledgeable, and that's the kind of person that they ought to be out there looking for. And that's frankly the reason why they ought to be calling us at Sandweg Ager. Catastrophic injuries are pretty much any injury which really radically changes a person's life. It could be the loss of a limb. It could be a coma. It could be a closed head injury, which affects a person's ability to be the same person that they were before the injury. Catastrophic injuries cover a wide range of injuries.
Catastrophic injury cases are unique because they typically involve more complicated issues, and there are more avenues for a defendant to poke holes in either the liability or damages aspects of the case. Sandweg Ager has successfully handled hundreds of medical negligence and catastrophic injury cases. We have the ability, the skill, and experience to get the result that you want.
Catastrophic injuries don't just affect the victim of the injury. Catastrophic injuries also affect family members. A mother, a father whose child has been catastrophically injured, they suffer, not, of course, to the same degree as their child, but they suffer. And claims can be brought on behalf of those people. And it's important that the competent, qualified catastrophic injury attorney here in Arizona recognize those things.
Catastrophic injury cases are extremely expensive to litigate because they involve a number of issues that require expert testimony. A lawyer needs to understand what those issues are, and they include establishing how the injuries are going to affect the victim for the rest of his life from a vocational aspect, from a psychological aspect, and from a physical aspect. Each of these aspects involve a different discipline which requires expert testimony to get to a jury.
People with catastrophic injuries are the people who really need to make sure it gets done right. People with any injury get one turn. They get one chance to make the recovery that they're going to make. They don't get two, they don't get three. It has to be done right the first time, and that's why it's important to have a lawyer who's going to get it right the first time.